What do you think? If one has some feelings of being offended by someone, some negative emotions towards someone, is it worth to recreate this situation, solve it somehow, meditate on this situation, or bring love into this situation? Or the situations get dissolved by themselves if you're just being in the present moment, and no need to solve this in love or something like that. What is your opinion? If you are already totally present in this moment, here and now, you will notice there are no offenses in this moment. All offenses exist once you start thinking about them, once you remember something or talk about it in your mind, when you are being in the mind. When you are here and now, when you are in the moment, there is no mind, there is only this moment. And if you really live the totality of the moment truly, then by the light of awareness, it just burns all of your karmic notes, vasanas, programs. They all simply become meaningless. The moment itself implies that you are being in divine presence. There is no any offense in the present moment. Who should God be offended with himself? The other thing is, in case you are not deep enough in this present moment, you can't hold it, if one can put it this way. Then, in case you are disturbed by this, your mind returns to this again and again, then yes, you can use some energy practice, dissolve this in your heart and love. Through being aware, accepting, if something happens then it's needed, and no one is guilty, no one and nothing doesn't have any guilt. It's just the design of Lila, of divine play. There is no need to get offended. The play happens as the idea of creator, but we think that we can influence everything. If you are aware of this, there are no any offenses. Thank you. Usually I suggest the practice to dissolve everything in one's heart. Whatever negative emotions appear in you, if it is weighting you down, take it and dissolve it in your heart with love, with the power of love. The power of love is immense, it's endless, it's the greatest power in the universe. If you take it up into your heart and hold it in your heart, don't push it away, don't try to hide it, put it into some dark corner of subconsciousness. No, you just accept it with love. Okay, if it is like this, it's like that. There is no one to be offended. The one who has offended you, they don't see you as you are. They actually have no any connection to your beingness. There is an image of you in their head, and it says something, gives some comments. There is no meaning in getting offended by this. Just dissolve it, that's it. But again, if you are present here and now, you don't need to do this also. Just be here, that's it. Don't drag this past, these offenses with you. Let it go. Each moment live anew, as if nothing didn't happen in the past, as if you were just born. Every moment you are just born and looking with fresh eyes at everything. Sometimes people offend each other unconsciously. A person can hurt you absolutely unconsciously and forget about it. And you are dragging this hurt. You start communicating from the state of being offended. But this state is already not there. You bring it back. Dissolve this and let go. Exactly when you drag it, you are creating the karma. This is how the karmic knot is made. You get offended and then you think about it, bring it into the next day, and then you do some actions because of this offense. This is how the karmic knot is being created. But if you just blow it off, it all dissolves and you welcome the next day as if this didn't even happen, then the energy situation changes and that person may even forget about it. You forget about it and he forgets, and you both go in to look at each other anew and enter the new day with new feelings, new emotions. Don't drag this past along with you. It doesn't lead to anything good. I would like to learn to forget like this. Sometimes I can forget for a while, but then I get busy with something and alone with some thoughts that are happening now. The offense also pulls in. And then another thing comes, and then I can't cope with this. You can't forget it. The mind is working, so it will pop up anyway. But you should notice how the mind goes into the past and bring it back into the present. This is a non-stop process. This is what spiritual practice is. Spiritual practice is not when you sit and sing Om or meditate or you're dwelling in some states. No, this is the real practice. When you, same like Durga goddess, with a broom, just clean the space of the mind so that not a single thought comes in. You are just in the present moment. This present moment is valuable. You should understand that the value of life is in this present moment. We always live life in this present momentedness. We never live life in the past or the future. Life happens in presence. All masters, they point at this, live here and now, but people don't understand fully what they mean. People just nod, but in reality they are in their states of mind, something remembering all the time, thinking this, that, and there is a kind of sweetness to be in these memories. But you should understand, there are pleasant memories, and there are unpleasant memories, and all this just kind of brews in the pot of your mind. And you are living life in all these memories, in one more dream of your mind, but not in reality. If you want to wake up, bring yourself back to this reality. Here and now, in this moment, there are no offenses. Actually, there are no any problems. There is nothing which is worth not being in happiness and peace. This moment is always filled with divine presence by itself. You just don't notice this. Because there is like a fence of the mind, it always pulls you in like a whirlpool. Just bring it back, bring back. Yes, it's a practice. These are real steps which you should do. No one can do this instead of you. The mind has this habit to always pull you somewhere, either dream about your future, or fear for your future, how I'm gonna live tomorrow, what's gonna happen, some moments like that. Just notice throughout the day how these thoughts and emotions involve with you. You are not being in reality. You are watching the movie of your mind constantly. Not you personally, I'm addressing everyone. A human. So it happens that humans don't live the life which is given to them by God in the moment, in reality. They live life creating their own world of the mind and being in this world of the mind. Suffering there, being sad and angry, having fears there, and so on. Until one gets fed up with this once. Then he looks like, oh my God, what's going on? This is like nonsense happening. The world is crazy. You have created this world in your head, yourself. And it's truly like the comedy of absurd. The world is in your head. If you listen to what your mind is telling in your head throughout the day, it's just nonsense. And it's pulling emotions. They don't have any ground. As a rule, there is no ground for these emotions. The mind likes to heighten everything in order to get this energy flow in the form of emotions from you. You should see this game of the mind and not play this game. Quit it. This is the recipe. Thank you. You're welcome. I have a question. Everyone sees their own movie and sees me as the character in their own way, and telling that me, Alessia, is like this, and I try to oppose this because I am different, but I am doing the same towards other people. So how can I live it and not prove anything to anyone, not react? One should see the reason why reaction appears in you. Who is reacting? Who is getting worried by this? As a rule, it is the person that is worried because the person is something. We are taught like this from childhood. We should achieve this, we should do this, we are striving to this. It is manifested in everything. So this person is thinking that it is so important. I am like this, like that, I have these qualities. And you have your own ideas about yourself, which someone told you. You don't know yourself even. It's not just others. They don't know you, and you don't know yourself. But you have an idea, an image about yourself, and when this image is not corresponding to what people tell you, then you have a kind of in-tuning inside of you, and you resist that. But what is resisting inside of you? It is the person, because it has its own image of herself. If you look deeper into yourself, don't identify yourself with a person and see who you truly are, this won't worry you. You will see that other people say something about you, and you can just shrug your shoulders, oh wow, they see me like this. Okay, it's their idea. You see it very clearly that people portray their own image of you in their minds. It has nothing to do with you. Why it has to touch you? So just look what's behind your reaction. Alessia is reacting in you. The Alessia which identifies herself with the person, but you are not Alessia. Alessia is a kind of a formed puppet for interactions in this world. The person, everything is perceived painfully, absolutely everything. Even if it is being praised, it will just feed the ego. Ego is always reacting painfully. It always gets offended. It always tries to find out something, to persuade someone in something. To tell someone that these are wrong and those are right. This is the game in the mind. This is the world created by the mind. So it is having some interest to live. If you look deeper inside yourself, you see who you are, then this won't be interesting for you anymore. You will be going on living. They will perceive you as a person, but inside there will be no one who can get triggered by that. You can go on with some game, just so that the game exists. Like the movie is going on, but you are not a character in this movie anymore. You are the seer, you're the spectator. That's it. Then nothing will react in you. You will be calm about it. So just see who is getting triggered. When it happens, who is getting triggered? Look. Okay, this is the ego. This is how it is manifested. This is the nature of the ego to react to everything. But I am the one who is watching the ego. That means I am not the ego. I am the one who is aware of the ego. So who am I? And again, this becomes the reason to do self-inquiry. So all our life actually leads to self-inquiry. Any situation turns you to yourself. If you really have the intention for self-inquiry, for inner search. But most of the people, they prefer just to be in this dream, to dwell in the states, to get offended, to prove something to someone. They just like this. Until they get fed up and the soul wants to wake up. Atma Vichara. Today is the one recipe for everyone. Atma Vichara. Thank you. Thank you.
So it means that if I have a feeling that another person wants to assert themselves, to have some dominant position, to teach me, so I shouldn't react. I should watch who is triggered, or how to understand the phrase to react as the situation requires. When you are in the present moment, from the moment you see the situation totally differently. In the present moment, there are no any problems. All the problems are when you move to the mind and start to think who is trying to dominate, who is hurting you. Why do you care what they do? It is their problems. They dominate or not, whom they dominate, whom to dominate if you are everything, if you are the eternity. Who can dominate whom if you are the eternity and the other person is eternity as well? So eternity is dominating eternity. You are divine, they are divine. There is some lila going on. Okay, play this game. Someone is dominating, someone is not. You can't be serious about this if you know who you are. If you don't know, then look into yourself and study who is getting triggered by this dominating. Sometimes you should play this game. And they stop dominating because there is no one to touch with this. There is no one in you to react to this. You're looking at this with love and just playing the game playfully. You can't take the games of the mind seriously, neither yours nor other people's. There is no reason to do this. It leads to nothing other than suffering. You will again shake it in your mind, try to prove something, then you're again not in the moment, you're in the past, and you sit and dig in this past. Okay, if you like to stay in these energies, be in them, play these games. But if we are talking about awakening, one should just notice these things. Watch who in you is reacting to this. If you look, there is no one to react. Only this puppet is reacting, and it is unreal. It's just thinking something high about itself. Look, all enlightened masters, ancient masters, Ramana Maharshi, Papaji, Ramakrishna, they become like children. When someone came to Ramana Maharshi to chant mantras, and they made up some mantras with the words about Ramana Maharshi, some kind of bhajans. They were singing and dancing and clapping, beautiful music was sounding, they were praising Ramana Maharshi. He was just celebrating along with them. He was clapping and smiling and singing. He was singing about himself. So if someone looks at this from the personality, they will say he was praising himself, but he didn't have it in himself. He was not taking his personality seriously. It was just beautiful music, just beautiful sound. And he was participating in that from the moment here and now. That's it. The response to life in this moment is always very alive. It's like children respond. Without any prejudice of the mind, without any programs of the mind. This is what is called to be in the moment here and now. And react from nowness. What is happening now? What is now? And as a rule, in the now, there are no problems. You take these things out of somewhere and start delving into them. Now, it is not there, but you take it out of somewhere. And you are delving in some states. Any states which torment you, come to you. Some emotions start to appear. Notice from where the state comes. The trigger of any state is a thought. You start believing this thought and interact with this thought. You start thinking it, adding other thoughts, then some emotions start at the same time, some feelings, states. So that becomes a kind of a ball which builds up. And it happens that you are never leaving your sufferings. You should notice this. Throughout the day, when something comes up, remember, this is just a thought. I should not believe it. It's just a thought, it's not mine. Just appeared from somewhere. But you believe this thought. The moment you believe, then you get involved. At this moment, you get stuck. You stuck deeply into this. And then this ball of suffering builds up, and all life goes on in this kind of states. This is why we speak about awareness of living every moment. You are vigilantly present, and you watch all what happens to you. But if you like being in this, you will go on being in this, no matter how much I talk about it, until you get fed up, until you get enough of suffering. Then you will have a desire to live it. Your desire will be so strong that you will have enough awareness to be aware of this every moment. Everything happens here according to your wish. Until you like to be in this, you will be in suffering. The moment you get fed up really with this, you won't be in this anymore, because there is a way out of suffering.